Kentucky on a almost cloudless, very warm Friday night for Week 5 as Great Crossing comes in at 4-0 on homecoming to host the 1-3 Bourbon County Colonels. We'll talk about them a little bit. Their record is what it is, but their points for and points against kind of indicate that this could be a high-scoring affair tonight, at least maybe on the Great Crossing side. It'll be a clash of styles as they face a Great Crossing defense that's probably better than anything they've seen this year. I'm Cal Oakes along with Coach Paul Raines. We are here for an early start. We hope you got the memo. We got it late. A 7 o'clock start is like, I assume there's a homecoming dance after all of this shindig tonight. So this will be an early start. We had a late start last time we were with you for the Warhawks as we had some weather. No danger of that tonight. And what are you expecting from this one? Obviously, the Warhawks looking to go 5-0 before the bye for the second year in a row. But, you look at Bourbon County, a team that hung 70 points on an opponent this year, and we could have some excitement.
I talked to Coach Bolin earlier this week, and I think his biggest concern is the big play. The wide receiver position, I'm not sure exactly what he said. He's got one wide receiver that can flat out fly, and E-Step is at quarterback, is a great athlete. They're going to spread the field, and I think they're kind of a big play type team. So Great Crossing's going to have to do a good job in the secondary and keep everything in front of them.
Yeah, they have amassed close to 1,500 yards in their 4 games, pretty evenly divided, actually. A little bit of an edge to the passing game. Estes is throwing for 750, 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, completing 48 out of 92. We saw Great Crossing's passing game come to life a little bit last week as Gabe Nichols accounted for 4 touchdowns, 2 through the air and 2 on the ground. He's looking at a Bourbon County defense that has given up 44 points per game. He's got to be licking his chops a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. The thing about scoring quick, that defense is right back out there. So it gives an opportunity for your offense to do something. And I think the Great Crossing is pretty confident offensively that they're going to be able to move the ball. Their offensive line has done a great job this year opening up some holes for those running backs.
They've been phenomenal. Of course, 3 seniors up there with Kevin O'Doherty, Chucky Wilson as well, and it's just and Zach Kugel. And they've fit a couple of other guys in there who've put in the time in the weight room and earned their spots as well. And the running game has come to life too, and it's not been any one person. That's a big problem for teams, I think, because you see 2 weeks ago a guy like Caden Allen was kind of the bell cow, and then he didn't touch it at all last week on offense, and they turned it over to Isaiah Johnson and Jaquise Patterson, who were completely it's kind of a change of pace there.
Yeah, Thunder Lightning type running backs. You've got the Thunder and Cayman Allen, and then those other 2 are just super quick, and once they get past the second level, it's hard to keep them from taking it to the end zone.
We talked about a clash of styles, and we mentioned the statistic for Bourbon County. They have given up 44 points per game. Great Crossing has given up 40 total this season in 4 games. Their stats among the leaders in 5A in just about every major category. Points allowed. Orion Fisher has 9 sacks, which is 3 more than his closest pursuer in that race in 5A. Bourbon County, I believe, won the toss and elected to defer. So Great Crossing will be receiving and going from right to left on your screen or your imaginary dial, as it were. So they'll get the ball first, and we'll see what their offense can do. Offense has been kind of plagued by some slow starts this year, although last week they jumped out 14-0 in the win at East Jessamine.
Yeah, the games that I've seen, they've shot themselves in the foot a few times. They've driven the ball down the field, but then once they get close to the red zone, whether it be a penalty or incomplete pass here or there, they get behind on downs and haven't been able to get it in, especially in the early part of the game. But then as the game wears on, they seem to fit in there pretty good and start being able to put some points on the board.
One factor that has helped them atone for those deficiencies in the red zone a little bit is Jack Harold has kicked 3 field goals and some long ones, a couple of 40-plus yarders this season. So that's another weapon that the Warhawks have down there. What I like about Great Crossing is just their volume of different people that can hurt you. They've shown it not only on the ground, but in the passing game as well. They've really spread it around there. And before the season, we knew Zachary Kelly would be there. He's been nicked up a little bit. DJ Blunt has come on the scene. Jarius Patterson, Drake Bird, who's contributed in every phase, has made some big catches on offense, and they probably didn't expect to have to use him there. So plenty of weapons for these Great Crossing Warhawks.
Yeah, I can't say enough about what I've seen out of Drake Bird. It just seems like no matter what facet of the game we happen to be watching, Drake Bird is making plays, whether it's special team, offense, or defense. And he won Homecoming King tonight. So
yeah,
he's taking it all this year.
Drake Bird proving what I've known throughout my career. What I've noticed is that if you show up at the homecoming court in full football uniform, your chances of winning go up about 99%. So congratulations to Drake. I'd love to be able to tell you who the queen was, but she wasn't wearing a uniform. So
no, we didn't get her number.
I wasn't sure. But Drake, in any other year, Drake, you'd probably be a shoe-in for team MVP. But you talk about a Ryan Fisher with the 9 sacks and all that he does for that defense. Just committed to West Virginia 8 days ago. Picked them over a race of 10 D1 offers, including UK and Louisville. So a special player there that we'll be seeing on the defensive side, but not right away, as Bourbon County will kick off and start this contest. Great Crossing won 28-7 a year ago in Paris. As we said, that puts them to 5-0 last year. Trying to do that this year going into the bye, and we all know what's coming 2 weeks from tonight, Battle of the Birds, as they will take on Scott County. The Cardinals are at Paul Lawrence Dunbar tonight as they try to go 4-0. Of course, they'll be hosting Douglas next week. I'll be here with Sam Sutton for that one. But the ball's in the air. We are underway here at 7 o'clock, top of the hour. Return from the 15 across the 30 and not quite out to the 35 before the Warhawks are taken down there. A little tangled with the feet of the Bourbon County tackler, but it was the DJ Blunt, the senior multi-sport guy. He'll be a contributor in basketball too, 6'3", 175 pounds. I believe Bourbon might have been the school he most recently attended before Great Crossing.
Yeah,
so big game for him.
Yes, this is a big game for him to go back against his old alma mater.
He has, as we said, been a threat for Gabe Nichols on the outside. He will be split out to the right. Nichols will be in the pistol. At the 33. He will hand it off straight ahead. And good yardage up the middle for Caden Allen as he is across the 40 to the 45, a gain of 12. And after only lining up on defense last week when I was here Thursday for the Fisher commitment, he was not even in uniform and practicing. So it was good that he was able to go on defense, but he's well rested and ready to go here.
That was a big hole they had there, Cal.
You said it. That line has been making them at the point of attack, and Allen just burst through them with ease, as he did 2 weeks ago against Henry Clay. He'll get it again here. A little less room to roam, but he will make some on the left side and get to the 48 before he's brought down. It'll be 2nd and 8. Tackle made there by Aiden Virus and Cameron Goodwin. Goodwin is a 5'10 senior. He's been by far their leading tackler, so keep an eye on number 12 for the Colonels, coached by David Jones. In 4A, they are 1-3. As we said, they scored 70 in their one win this year, so watch out for that offense when they get out there. Right now, it's the Great Crossing offense going to work. 2nd down, little counter with Allen. He scoots up the middle, well across midfield, still dragging tacklers. The ball pops loose, but it was marked down at the 36. It will be a 1st down for the Warhawks and another gain of 16 for Caden Allen.
Well, I like the fact that Great Crossing's come out and established the run right off the bat. Once you start running the football like that, then it can open up things for you later on. That's another big hole that he had there to run through.
Allen's going to get a well-deserved break under the canopy, and, of course, as we said, they can just check in runner after runner. Zach Morris will come in. Actually, it's Dylan Lay right now. The handoff will be to the left side, and it is Patterson, Jaquise Patterson, across the 35 to the 33. Another gain of about 4, 2nd down and 6. Warhawks on the move early, 10-11 to play first quarter.
They're staying in the 2-back set tonight.
This time Nichols will throw. A little timing to the left, and he almost mistimed it, as right there was Josh Moody for Bourbon County. But DJ Blunt made the catch somehow, just shy of the 30. It'll be 3rd and short, about 3.
I thought that corner had jumped that. He was real close to getting inside on him.
A little split second earlier, and it might have been going the other way. So Nichols with a sigh of relief. It's 3rd and 3 at the 30-yard line. He's got Lay and Patterson in the backfield. Bird split out to the right, Blunt to the left. Again, Kelly not in the lineup. Jaquise Patterson stopped at the 30.
Brought the blitz that time.
Ran right into it as Bourbon County not fooled there. And it will be it'll be 4-down territory for the Warhawks here. I don't think they'll kick a 47-yard field goal, so it's 4th and 3. More than 3 minutes have ticked off here in the first quarter as Nichols looks to the sideline for the play. Plenty of time on the play clock. 4th down conversion attempt early for the Warhawks at the Colonel's 30. Nichols will throw left, having to come back and get it is Bird, but he's got enough for the 1st down as he went a couple of yards past the marker before he had to come back and get it. So a heady play by the senior. Fresh set of downs at the 26 of Bourbon County. Warhawks have driven it from their own 33 early, 8:30 to play, first quarter.
It's on the loudspeaker.
Allen spins across the 25, pushing forward in the rugby scrum to the 21.
Nice effort on that play. He spun off probably 4 different tackles there to get his yardage.
He'll get about 4 more. They'll mark him at the 22. It'll be 2nd and 6. $7:45 to play, first quarter. Nichols looks down at the wristband. He's still got Allen in the backfield. To his right, Bird in motion. Nichols will roll to his right. He's got a lot of room over there. He will throw. He had Bird down around the 5-yard line, but Bird had to dive belly first to go after it and couldn't make the catch. 3rd and 6. Ball on the left hash mark, 3rd and 6 from the 22. Clock stop, 7:23 remaining first quarter, no score. Cal Oaks along with Coach Paul Raines. Warhawks have had it since receiving the opening kickoff. They converted 1 4th down on this march already. Handoff and a sweep across the 20 to the 15, inside the 10, down to the 8, Isaiah Johnson. That was a good fake by Gabe Nichols, as for a minute I thought he was going to keep it and go left.
Good blocking on the edge there. Once he got past the tackle, it was free running.
Vyers and Moody made the tackle again, but not before the Warhawks gained 15 to set up 1st and goal. They've used up more than 5 minutes. Here's a handoff right side, inside the 5, down to the 2. It's Clayton Shaddix. Haven't seen him carry the ball a whole lot this year on the varsity side of things, but he picks up 5, maybe 6 more. See where they mark it. Inside, right on the 3. This has been a grind of a drive, consuming a lot of time early, but the Warhawks have been impressive, taking it the length of the field after starting at their own 33. Trying to finish the job here, Nichols. Handoff straight ahead, in for the touchdown, Zach Morris. He's contributed on both sides of the ball this year, been a great short yardage back, and does it again here. 3 yards for the touch with 6:20 to play.
Great start for the Warhawks to be able to take the ball, drive it down the field kind of methodically, and put it in the end zone.
Harold will attempt the PAT to make it 7-0. Cross our fingers. Kick is up with the hold from Bird, and it is good. 7-0, 6:20 to play in the opening quarter. Warhawks on top. Key play on the drive was that fourth down conversion, that pass from Nichols to Bird.
Yeah, great catch. Like you said, it was a good route. Got up past the markers and was able to come back even with the dive back to the ball. He still had enough yardage to get the first down. Good throw by Gabe Nichols.
Yep, he had a couple of big ones on that drive. He had the one that put a lump in our throat for a minute to DJ Blunt on the other sideline.
It'll be interesting this game to see how they block Fisher. If they're gonna get in the open sets, trips and doubles, how are they going to? Are they going to try to double team him, put a fullback on the edge, or how are they going to keep him from upping his score on those sacks this game?
Harold will kick it off, and we'll see that vaunted Bourbon County offense that has averaged 35 points per contest. Nice tackle there by Shaddix to stop Bourbon's return at the 22. Santiago on the return for the Colonels. Clay Estes is the quarterback. We mentioned him in the pregame, 48 for 92, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He'll also run it quite a bit. He has 9 of the 14 rushing TDs for Bourbon County, 250 yards on 37 attempts. Josh Moody, also 37 attempts for a team high, 306 yards on the ground. Estes in the shotgun. They'll run a toss to the right. It's Moody, cuts back toward the middle, gets to the 25. Allen flying over the pile there, lost his helmet. Malachi Young was also in the mix. They'll mark it just a skosh over the 25. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Colonels. 5:44 remaining first quarter. Fast-moving first quarter as that Warhawks drive was mostly on the ground and with safe passes kept the clock moving.
Empty backfield here. They're going to get that ball off quick with Fisher out there on the edge.
Trips right, 2 to the left. That got either hit at the line of scrimmage or the quarterback's arm got hit. Lacosco on the coverage as it fell incomplete. Caden Highlander, the intended receiver over here on the Warhawk sideline. 3rd and 7. Definitely a wobbly throw, and you're right. You just don't have any time. We've seen that with Henry Clay. We saw it with Western Hills here in week 1. If you're going to drop back and throw, you have to count to 3 quickly and let it go. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi isn't going to get it done. Moody up the middle, spins shy of the 30, and that won't get it done on 3rd and long as they will face 4th and 3 and likely have to punt here. Although we'll see. Are they another one of those teams that doesn't punt very much? That might be the reason for some of their
nobody's coming
statistics.
In. Unless it's a quick kick, nobody's coming in. This is interesting.
Time ticking. They've got some time. 17 on the play clock. The game clock is under 5 minutes. Maybe they'll just try to draw the Warhawks offside. Estes.
They're in that tight formation again. They ran a toss out of this last time.
They will go for it. Estes will get sacked. Back at his 25 and hand it to the Warhawks. It was a group effort as per usual. 42, 50, and 70 all there as Josh Strayer, Jesse Shaddix, and Clay Spradlin. They've been the primary beneficiaries of the attention that gets paid to Fisher over there. Fisher has gotten his share of sacks, no question, but those guys have been in on a bunch.
Got a good push up inside. He didn't have anywhere to go with the ball. Good coverage too. Somebody was looking for a little hot route there, and I don't know who jumped underneath it, but there was nothing for the quarterback. He had to go to his second read, and that was too late after that.
Well, this gives obviously GC a chance to pile it up early as they have a short field. They're at the Bourbon County 27 with 4:35 to play in the first quarter.
Little trap play.
There goes Lay. Dylan Lay up to just shy of the 15. That's another first down for the Warhawks.
And I've said it every week that I've been up here. I'm impressed with the offensive line. Again, there was a gapping hole there, little trap block, and running back up coming through to help seal up on the linebackers, and a nice hole.
On the move again are the Warhawks. Second
play.
man through is Lay. Down to the 5. Should be another first down.
If it's working, no need to changing it.
Keep scratching the itch.
Here comes the big backs in.
Yeah, this is Morris/Allen time usually. .340 and counting in the first quarter as the Warhawks threaten to go up by 2 scores early. Allen pushes the pile to about the 2. No further. Second and goal. Caden Allen with a couple of double-digit runs on the first series. Dylan Lay has done the honors on this series, but Allen trying to put the punctuation on it. Won't be surprised if he gets another opportunity.
No, they're controlling the line. All the tackles are being made at the second level. You're 2nd and 2. Just feed the monster.
Nope, Nichols will keep it and slide in for the touchdown. He faked to Allen, drew the entire Bourbon County defense's attention, and just finished the job himself. And we were PAT away from it being 14-0 with 2:51 to play in the first quarter.
Gabe's got good size. Once he gets a little head of steam up and gets that forward lean, he's tough to stop on the goal line too.
Bird holding for Harold again. It's good. 14-0. Great crossing over Bourbon County. 2 for 2 on the night is the Great Crossing offense.
This is going to be an important drive for the Colonels right here.
They have to establish something.
They have to establish something, and if they go 4th down again in their end of the field and don't get it, this game may be over early.
Bourbon County taking the Grant County approach that we've seen, going for it deep in their own territory. There's a lot of trains of thought there. If you have that kind of confidence in your offense and you maybe lack that confidence in your defense, it's what you're going to do sometimes to try to shake things up.
Is that what Grant County had a lot of confidence in their offense?
I don't know. I won't necessarily go that far either, but they've employed that. I've heard of some successful programs across the country that do that routinely. They just play the percentage. They were kind of on the leading edge of all the analytics, but I'm not a big fan of that when you're inside your 20, as we've seen from Grant a few times. That ball returned from the 10 across the 20, and then a nice ankle tackle there.
Who was that, number 10?
Who's getting off the turf? Paul Lacosko was down there. Could have been 10 again, which would be
10.
Shaddix has made a couple of stops already on special teams, so that wouldn't be a surprise. So once again, iffy field position for Bourbon County right at the 20-yard stripe. They'll have to go 80 to get back in this game. 2:44 to play first quarter. Great Crossing already out to a 14-0 lead. Scott County about 11 minutes away from kickoff in Lexington against Dunbar. We'll update that as we are able. This one's going to be at halftime by then, if that's right. Close to it. They'll throw again. Estes finds his man wide open and now we've got some pushing and shoving down here closer to us, but good catch there by Santiago, Cam Santiago, on a decent throw by Clay Estes to move the chains, 1st and 10.
That may be what Bourbon has to do tonight is move the pocket to where they can get away from at least half of the pass rush. It's pretty good idea for him, I think.
The problem is Fisher will still come after you. Yeah, I've seen him run down some pretty mobile quarterbacks.
Got a bunch set over here on the right.
Fisher's lined up on the left. They will run away from him. Surprise, surprise. Demarius McKee Ross across the 35 to the 36, gain of 4. Fisher's not going to make many tackles in the run game because they're just not going to go anywhere near him. But he did go across the field and get a hand in that one, strangely enough. .135 to play. This has been almost a real-time opening quarter from the 7 o'clock start. A lot of running plays. Here's another one across the 40. Good run. Gain for the Colonels that time, up near the stick before Young intervenes, along with Spradlin. Josh Moody on the carry, the leading ground gainer this season for the Colonels. They will mark another first down, so the second on this series for Bourbon, up to the 42, after getting pinned a little bit on the kickoff after the touchdown. Down to a minute to play in the first quarter. Great Crossing 14, Bourbon County nothing here at Bird's Nest Stadium. Cal Oaks along with Coach Paul Raines bringing you the action. A warm night for week 5. Temperature kickoff about 84 degrees. Moody again spins close to the 45 on 1st and 10. He will gain 2, maybe 3. Morris made the tackle. 2nd and 7 for Bourbon County. We said 4 games, they've piled up yards, so 375 or so per to sneeze at. Great Crossing hasn't allowed anywhere near that. It's been tough going, especially for those that want to throw the ball, and teams have had to because they've been behind. Final seconds of this quarter and some jumping there. I
think the center didn't understand.
The ball didn't even get snapped.
Yep.
And they will mark it back 5. So 2nd and 12 it will be. I'll spot it at the 40, 9.2 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It's been dominated by the Warhawks with 2 effective drives, a lot of it done on the ground in big chunks. And time will run out here in the opening period. Teams will go to their respective sidelines to talk it over.
Well, good start for the Warhawks this quarter.
Same as last week. They'll end the first quarter with a 14-0 lead. Now they've got to sustain it. They were held to a very late in the second quarter field goal going into halftime last week before they turned it on again offensively. But as you said, they're getting it done up front again, and it's I don't see that being stopped anytime soon.
I haven't seen all the games, but I haven't seen any teams necessarily stop their running attack this year. I think Coach Smith has done a great job with those offensive linemen. He's a great teacher of the game, and it helps so much to have those guys not playing defense and to be able to come over and check out the video and monitor and see what they're doing wrong and what the defense is, how they're adjusting during the game. And he's able to change those blocking schemes up or pick up a few little mistakes here and there. And their running attack has been solid all year long.
Also helps that you don't have anyone back carrying the ball 25, 30 times a game.
Yes.
You can really mix it up all night long with Jaquise Patterson, Caden Allen. We've seen Dylan Lay tonight. Really haven't seen a ton of him. Isaiah Johnson had the big week last week in Nicholasville. Johnson in the game right now on the defensive side, along with Bird, Young in the secondary, and Tyrus Cobbins, as they will face a Bourbon County team that's probably going to put the ball in the air here pretty soon, 2nd and 12. They've tried to run it primarily on this series, although they did pick up 1 first down through the air.
I'd say they're in 4-down territory.
Pretty much they've established that's going to be anywhere. Trips left. They will hand it off to Moody. He's got some room off left tackle across the 45. He's tripped up there by Morris and Lacosco. Sets up 3rd and 6 at the 46 of Bourbon. Taking a while to get this play in. The play clock is down below 10 seconds. They'll have to hurry. Now it's at 5. They still aren't set. 3, 2, 1. They're going to have to take a timeout here. Nope. Nope. Yep. It came in from the sideline. Colonels will stop the clock and talk it over with 11:10 to go, 2nd quarter. 3rd and 6 from their own 46, facing a 14-0 deficit against Great Crossing. Warhawks trying to go 5-0 on the season. Here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network, we will have a big one next week. As Great Crossing will have its bye, and Scott County will host Frederick Douglass in a battle of 2 of the top teams in 5A, and in Frederick Douglass' case, ranked 2nd, consensus number 2 in the state, or top 3, along with the likes of St. X and Boyle County and Trinity, and in that group. I want to thank our sponsors for making this all possible. Chick-fil-A, of course, we're all bummed that they're under construction right now and closed for a few weeks. We want to thank them for all their support. Kroger Hometown Pickup, Sword Performance, the official sports drink of Bird's Nest Athletics. Domino's Pizza. Scott County Veterinary Clinic, Jersey Mike's, BGO, new title sponsors of the Billy Hicks Classic basketball tournament in December, and Clark's Pump and Shop, among others we'll get to. But here's a big 3rd down play.
Here comes the heat.
Estes will roll away from Allen and just gets rid of it barely in time. And the closest person was a green jersey over there. I think Isaiah Johnson. Now looks like Tyrus Cobbins was diving after it, couldn't make the connection. It'll be 4th down, and looks like maybe Bourbon will send in a punting team here. Interesting now that you're down 14 zip. We shall see.
On the 45-yard line.
I could be wrong. They could rugby punt it. They could fake it. They could do any number of things here. Right now, Moody is standing there. Okay, now comes what appears to be a punter standing at his own 35.
3,
Again, the
2.
play clock is dwindling, and they're going to have to burn another timeout. Kind of a rough end to this series that had a promising start for Bourbon County. 11:04 to play, 2nd quarter. We'll get to some more of those sponsors. Burger King, Georgetown Community Hospital, Greens Toyota of Lexington, Denise M. Keene CPA, Ozer Paint and Flooring, West Banco. Trying to read the billboards, and there's some people sitting in lawn chairs in front of them. I got to bring my cheat notes a little more faithfully here, but also want to mention West Banco is the sponsor of tonight's Player of the Game Award. Will be presented to a deserving Great Crossing Warhawk after this one. Warhawks have steamrolled the competition so far. Closest games, week 2, a 12-0 win at North Oldham, and then week 3, 34-20 over Henry Clay here. They will be tested in 2 weeks, certainly, by the Scott County Cardinals, and then shortly thereafter, Frederick Douglass, as they get into the meat quickly of the district schedule. Also got a game with Collins that's much improved toward the end of the season. High snap, taken in, get it away, do the Colonels, and it will take, well, it'll actually take a great crossing bounce, a short one to the 24 where it's blown dead. 10:54 to play in the Warhawks offense. We'll go back to work with a chance to expand this lead. They've had the ball twice and scored twice. It has been by committee as usual on the ground. Caden Allen and Dylan Lay with a bundle of gains of 10 or more. Gabe Nichols has thrown the ball accurately as well to help. It's like Caden Allen getting a little stretch. I'm sure some guys, there have been some cramping issues early in the season, and this might be one of the warmer nights, actually, with an early start to boot. Nichols fakes two handoffs. Now we'll throw it.
Oh, nice play.
He had his safety valve over there. Its leg gets toppled over the 30 to the 31, but a good gain of 8 on first down.
They've been pulling that guard on the trap play after play, and that time they pulled him, and Gabe kept it out the backside for that bootleg. That's tough for the linebackers to play when you're getting that type of run action, and then you dump that guy out in the flats.
Dylan Lay has been more of a blocking fullback, but he's had 2 big carries on the last touchdown drive, and now a good catch to start this series. 2nd and 2. Nichols will throw it again. He's got his man Blunt, turns around to get it.
Out of bounds.
And he stepped out at the 35. Did he hear a whistle? He looks like he heard one. It'll be marked at the 31, but that is a gain of, do the math, 37 from the 32 to the 31, and that was a good strike. I think if maybe Nichols had put it in stride, Blunt would still be running, but a good adjustment by DJ to come back and get it. So Nichols has been efficient tonight, getting Blunt involved in the pass catching here. 2 for 2 on this drive as he hit one to Lay before that. And now the running game will take over. Jaquise Patterson across the 25 to the 23, gain of 9. 2nd and short, and you can do a lot of things on 2nd and short, Coach.
Defensive line did a pretty good job that time, but you got to give Patterson credit. He just found a seam there, and a little second effort ended up gaining 9 yards.
Keese got the ball quite a bit last week, but it was Johnson that hit the home runs for the Great Crossing backfield. It's been somebody different every week, it seems like. 2nd and 1. Nichols, a little bit of a high snap. He will collect it. He will find, nope, he won't find his man over the middle. He had cutting across number 40, Bryce Hammond, the tight end, but just a little over his fingertips. But that's kind of like a good waste, they say in baseball, when you throw the ball high. It's 3rd and 1. On 2nd and 1, you can afford that. Probably 4-down territory, although, as we mentioned, Jack Harold has a couple of field goals from this distance already this season. 14-0, clock stop, 9:27 to go, 2nd quarter. Nichols claps his hands, gets the snap. Second effort will get the first down, more room, but they're going to call it back, I think, as it's in the area of holding, as they say. It'll be 10 yards from the spot, so it'll still be 3rd and relatively short, I think. Still will leave the Warhawks with some options, but too bad as a gain for a first down gets wiped out. Shattuck's had it with room to spare.
Still going to be 3rd and short.
Yeah, I was going to say, not much has changed. It's going to be 3rd and 3. They'll mark it at the 25, so he was already at the 15 when they threw the flag, is what that means. The play was basically over. You hate to see that. Nichols barking out the signals. He's got Blunt split to the right. Johnson in the backfield. He draws Bourbon County offside, and they'll get the first down the easy way.
The entire line jumped.
That'll move it to the 20. Warhawks in the red zone for the third time tonight. They've cashed in on the first two. 8:57 to go, second quarter. Nichols with Johnson and Shaddix in the backfield.
Outside zone.
Johnson spins off the left side, gets to about the 17, gain of 3. 2nd and 7. Warhawks kind of nickel and dime, but they've been very effective in pushing the ball down the field and hanging some more points on this Bourbon County defense that has given up its share, 176 coming into tonight. Shaddix will get stacked up. There's good read there.
Yeah,
Coming in was Moody.
A little run blitz there.
Or rather, Vyers along with McKee Ross.
They brought more than Great Crossing could block that time. I thought Gabe had pulled it. He did a great job of faking there, and if he had pulled it, he'd have had some nice yardage. But he can't read the linebackers on the blitz there.
Scott County and Dunbar just underway. No score in Lexington. We've got 14-0 here. Great Crossing and threatening again. 3rd down and 10 from the Bourbon County 20. Nichols fakes to Morris, throws it to the right to Bird, gets away from one tackler. The second one brings him down right at the marker. Jaden Moody stops him maybe just shy of the 10, and we will see if there's a measurement or if it's 4th and inches. I think you've just got to give it to Mr. Allen here, no matter what. It will be 4th and a couple of links. 6:55 to play in the half.
Here comes those linebackers again, I'd say. Yep.
Nichols probably trying the hard count again. Taking his time. Clock's down to 2-1, and they will have to use a timeout. They waited as long as they could to test the endurance of the Colonel's patience, and finally used the timeout here at 6:37 to go. In the first half, 14-0, and the Warhawks trying to add to it. Can't tell if Scott County scored a touchdown or is attempting a field goal. Something happened there on the other game. We've got 4th and less than a yard in this one here at Bird's Nest Stadium. See what they do. They hand off to Morris, big hole, and just about a walk-in. He met a tackler right at the goal line, but spun into the end zone for an 11-yard score. It makes this 20-0 pending the extra point.
That's what happens if you bring in those linebackers, which you don't have much choice on 4th and short, but if they don't make the tackle, then there's nobody at the second level, and that's exactly what happened there. Once he broke the line, it basically just a little short jog into the end zone.
Harold splits the uprights again, 3 for 3 tonight on the PATs, and with 6:32 to play in the first half, it's Great Crossing 21, Bourbon County 0. 6-0 Scott County, 9:52 to play in the first quarter over Dunbar. 21-0 here, as expected. Great Crossing having its way offensively, just grinding it out. 3 efficient drives, converting a couple of fourth downs. That one just for the touchdown, the Morris 11-yard run. Bird had a catch earlier on a fourth down play that led to the first score of the game. Harold will kick it deep. It is bobbled and kicked. Picked up on the run by Moody.
Got lucky there.
You got a fortuitous bounce. Jaden Moody, I believe, the returner back there. Actually, it's going to be Cam Santiago who bobbled it and then recovered it. They'll mark it at the 28, so no harm, no foul for the Colonels, but they've got some work to do. They trail by 3 touchdowns with 6:26 to play here in the second quarter.
And they've yet to cross midfield, so they really need to get something going this drive if they're going to stay in this game.
Their passing attack has been pretty effective, 750 yards on the season coming into this one, but they haven't been able to hit a lot there, and they handed off and immediately tripped up, maybe over his own 2 feet, is Josh Moody, although he knew things were closing in on him. No gains, 2nd and 10.
They've had a little bit of luck running outside on Great Crossings. 2 or 3 plays that they've done it, they may try to go back to that a little bit on the tosses and the outside zone play. They've hit for decent yardage. Not got much inside.
No, their second drive was the more effective. They picked up a couple of first downs, one rolling it out and throwing it. We'll draw. I don't think that was designed as much as self-preservation, and Fisher did chase Estes down after a gain of 3.5, maybe 4. It'll be 3rd and 6.
It's a lonely spot to be back there at quarterback when you're all by yourself.
And you see that green number 27, all 6'6.5" of them coming at you. He's 100% committed to the Mountaineers. He likes the hybrid position they have sculpted for him, a little bit of kind of edge / linebacker. He's certainly got the potential to be either or at the next level. Empty backfield for Bourbon, had to get rid of it quickly and threw it low, but making the catch shy of the marker and in front of Cobbins is Santiago. It'll be 4th and 2 at the 36.
That's the difference there in that route. The one that Drake Bird ran earlier, he needed 7 yards, and he basically ran a 5-yard route and ended up a little bit short on the first down.
As a receiver, you got to be aware of where that orange stick is. They're going to give you forward progress usually, but if you have to come back, that's on the quarterback too. If you got to throw it low because you're hearing footsteps. 4th and 2, I guess they will punt again, although it was their quarterback lined up in punt formation, so you got to be wary of that. Another timeout.
They've used all their timeouts.
That's the third. That's the third for Bourbon County. They've burned them all on 3rd and 4th downs. 4:20 to play in the second quarter. 21-0 Great Crossing. The Warhawks in command here, looking to be a perfect 5-0 to start the year for the second season in a row. The toughest part of the schedule still ahead, as we mentioned. But this place, whatever the crowd is tonight, and it was a late arriving one that filed in pretty decently, but 2 weeks from tonight, this place will be packed as Scott County and Great Crossing. Crossing well on its way to being 5-0. County will be looking to go 4-0 after night. They've got definitely a hurdle with Douglas next Friday, but don't be far away from Bird's Nest Stadium on Friday the 30th. Estes will kick it. And Bird will signal for the fair catch at his own 32. So with 4:13 to play, the Warhawks with a chance to do some more damage here in the second quarter.
Fisher about had a block right there. He wasn't but maybe a foot off of that ball with his hand.
He gets to quarterbacks, punters, running backs quickly and in short order. Warhawks have not been stopped tonight yet. 21-0 is the lead. 4:13 to go in the second quarter. Band getting into position for their halftime show. Hope you got the message of the 7 o'clock start. Otherwise, you're just joining us wondering what happened as we are almost to the half. It has been a fast-moving half, controlled, time of possession-wise, dominated by Great Crossing. Here's another run off the right side, stop shy of the 35 after a gain of a couple. That's Dylan Lay once again. It has been pretty evenly divided as far as the carries between Allen, Lay, Johnson, Patterson. They've spread it out equally in the pass game as well. Blunt with a big catch for 36 yards on the last drive. Hand off to Patterson here across the 35 to the 40, up to the 45 and across the 45 for a first down. Warhawks, 3:35 to play.
Plenty of time, and they can put this one in and basically leave no time left on the clock.
Just keep doing what they've been doing, essentially, as they have dictated the pace and done just about everything they wanted to do and been pretty much mistake-free as well. Nichols fakes to Lay, finds Bird in the right flat to the Bourbon County 40 down to the 37. And Bird with another big catch. As we've said, does it on offense, does it on defense, does it on special teams. If we had a 50-50 drawing, he'd be selling the tickets. First and 10 at the Colonel 37. Warhawks with still just under 3 minutes to work with here.
Whoa.
Isaiah Johnson gets away from the first man on the sweep. He's to the 30, gets the corner at the 25 and pushed out at the 20. Smoke with another first down for the Warhawks.
I thought he was sacked back there about 5 yards deep, and the Jets turned on, and there was nothing
he
they
has
could do.
A couple of extra gears, and we just saw one there. We've talked about that change of pace. Sometimes you'll lull people to sleep with these big lumbering guys, and then Johnson comes into the game and burns you east-west. Nichols to throw. He's got Blunt again, 15 down to the 14. Good safe passes. He's been efficient. I don't know if he's had maybe one incompletion so far.
One so far.
He's got to be 6 for 7, 7 for 8, something in that vicinity, which is a good sign. He's been hovering around that 50% mark this season. He's missing one of his favorite targets from Michigan, two of his favorite targets. Actually, Caleb Perry's in college, and Zachary Kelly's been on the injured list. So it's been an adjustment for Gabe. Hands off to Johnson again. Similar situation where he makes one guy miss, cuts it inside, makes another miss. Inside the 10, juggled the ball a little bit, gets the first down. It'll be first and goal Warhawks on an electrifying, albeit not that long run. He probably had to go about 35 yards to gain 10 or 12 by Isaiah Johnson.
It's one of them situations where our Jimmy's better than their Joe.
He's got a little Barry Sanders in him there.
Yeah, I mean, he was stopped for a 5-yard loss. Again, I think it's the same kid, had him jumped on it and had him stopped. And he
slapping the turf as he sees him rush by.
Yes.
First and goal at the 6, under 2 minutes to play in the half. Jaquise Patterson will finish the job with a walk-in from 6 yards out with 1:41 to go. And the sirens go off.
Nice run.
A lot of nice runs on that series. Isaiah Johnson responsible for a couple to set it up, and Jaquise Patterson slashes through the middle for the final 6. Harold to try to make it 28-0. Puts it on the roof. 4-touchdown lead for the Hawks, and still 1:41 to play.
We may have a running clock in the second half.
You know, Bourbon County goes 3-0 quickly enough. We could have one by halftime. We shall see.
The ground attack has been impressive.
Yes, it has. They've hit from all angles.
Like you said, it's an assortment of players. Morris and Caden Allen early on. Patterson hit a few runs. Then the little speedster there took them down on that drive, and Patterson comes back in there at the end and has a nice run into the end zone. Share the wealth.
Harold, kickoff once again. He's been a busy man tonight. Bounces it inside the 5. It'll trickle through the end zone, and Bourbon County will let it go and start work at the 20. They've got an uphill climb. They've been shut out so far, which has certainly not happened to them. As we said, they came in averaging 35 points a game, but not tonight.
I'd say total yardage, 70 yards maybe?
A lot to a little. They lost 43-36 to West Jessamine, 42-14 to Belfry. They had that crazy 70-53 win over Harrison County, and then a 38-22 loss to Cincinnati Woodward last week in the Mingy Beef Jerky Bowl over in Paris. That was their first home game of the season, I believe. They're getting some home cooking from the Warhawks tonight, 28-0. Just trying to play out the string here in the first half, as running up the middle is Demarius McKee Ross. He'll gain a couple, maybe 3, maybe 4 actually, to the 24.
I noticed they've dropped Fisher out in coverage a couple times this game.
Just a little bit, just
Yeah,
to
he's playing out
expand
there on
his
the
horizons.
edge.
Well, he's got
Yeah.
that wingspan. And,
I would not want to throw it in flats out here.
quick throw to the right, well-designed play there,
Good
but a
tackle.
nice tackle short of the marker by Tyrus Cobbins. Cobbins, he was part of that running back by committee the past couple of years, but has adjusted nicely to starting only on defense. 3rd and 1. We'll see if they try to gain a first down. They don't have any timeouts to work with, so they're surely not going the distance unless they somehow hit a big one here. I might play a little more prevent than GC is, but and they're just going to toss it left to Moody. Moody will get toppled by Bird right at just past the marker, so will be a first down, but pretty much academic at the 16.8 second mark. Clock will stop while they move the chains. They could spike it, but they've still got 69 yards to go to pay dirt here, down to 10 seconds.
They're going deep here one time. If he can get time to get
Estes,
it off.
yeah, that's the big if. As the ball is on the ground, he tried to get rid of it, and now smothered for a tackle for loss by guess who, Orion Fisher. He got some help over there as well from Clay Spradlin. Now we've got a whistle, and what do we got? The clock is at all zeros. Is that going to be it, or are we going to have an untimed down here?
I would think that's on the offense.
They're waving off the flag, and that will do it for the first half. Warhawks applauding and exhorting the fans, and the fans giving them a well-deserved round of applause. That might have been the most complete first half of the season from the Warhawks as they put up the goose egg on the defensive side. only gave up a couple of first downs, and on the offense, 4 for 4, very efficient, dominating time of possession. I would guess 3-1, and lead at 28-0.
Yeah, Bourbon County has to be scratching their heads here going into halftime on what they can do to put a dent in that Warhawk defense and get some points on the board this second half.
Yards have not come easily at all. Never mind points. Scott County 6, Dunbar 6 at the end of the first quarter. So that one's already a better game than last year when it was a 55-0 rout here.
What did you say the score was?
6-6, end of the first period.
Wes Johnson has done a good job down at the Dunbar program over the last several years.
Yeah, he has really.
I would say if you were ranking the programs in Fayette County, then Dunbar would be right behind Frederick Douglass.
Yeah, they're in that they're in
spot.
that coin flip with Bryan Station, I think,
Yes,
right
Bryan
now.
Station.
And as you know, when he took over there, they were in a low point for sure.
Yes.
They have right now, I think probably Lafayette is in that spot, and then Dunbar has moved up along with Station.
Henry Clay's dropped off quite a bit.
Yeah, they just they look good on the, and they hang in there with you, but they just haven't put away a lot of wins in the past few years. Tate's Creek has been up and down. There's certainly the arrival of Douglass has completely warped the table over.
The distribution of wealth has kind of got tilted since Frederick Douglass showed up.
It has. The best players are certainly ending up at the one institution. And we will see how that plays out in 5A. 5A, for my money, has the most depth of any class as far as good teams. I mean, you look at the AP poll and the rankings, the computer rankings, the Cal Preps rankings, and Great Crossing checked in number 10 in the media poll this week, and I believe they're 11th on a 5A in the computer rankings. Scott County at number 6, and all classes, I think I saw 18th. So that tells you how deep 5A is when 6 of the top teams in the state. Great Crossing has done it on the ground and through the air. They've rushed 22 times for 150 yards. They have completed 7 of 9 for 84. Total yards, 234 to 50. That Bourbon County offense that's averaging 35 points a game has been held to fewer than 3 points per play tonight. Possession time says 14-18 to 9-17. It seems even more.
It seems more than that, doesn't it?
Definitely a wider stretch than that. Isaiah Johnson, 4 for 41. Caden Allen, 5 for 36. Jaquise Patterson, 5 for 30. Dylan Lay, 3 for 25. How's that for balance? As we said, Nichols, 7 for 9, 84 yards, 3 catches each for DJ Blunt and Drake Bird. Blunt had a 36-yarder. Bird had a big catch to extend a drive as well. On the defensive side, Spradlin, Fisher, 4 tackles apiece. Bird and Morris each with 3. Fisher with a tackle for loss. Estes has thrown the ball all over the yard this year. He's only 3 for 5 for 21 yards tonight. And as you enjoy the Great Crossing Band, we'll have some Powerade. It has been a warm one again. We're in week 5 and still feels like summer outside.
Is that an Indian summer they call that?
That's what they call it up in my old neck of the woods. Usually we used to call, there would be like this random warm day, like late October, early November. It wasn't even that warm. It was like 60, and they'd call that Indian summer. But
you never know in Kentucky what you're
yeah, I think you. Well, I've kind of figured out summer is like a 6-month season, and then you get a short spring and a short fall and a short winter, which is fine with me. Some of us travel to Florida more than others, though.
Yeah,
Some of us who are
live
retired.
6 Saturdays and a Sunday.
That's a
what
good
I
motto
do.
to live by. I've seen that. Admirable.
DT texted me. I don't know. It was about a week ago. Something about the game or something, and I said something about tomorrow night. Well, that was on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Thursday for
Yeah,
some
who
reason.
knows, right? I know just when I'm on vacation for a week, I lose track of what day it is. So I can only imagine. Great crossing. Trying to finish this off at 5-0 going into the bye week. And you've probably had your share of bye weeks at different points of the season. Do you like it right at that midway point like they're having it?
Yeah, I think it's a good time because you've had time for your team to gel. You've had time to get yourself get an identity offensively and defensively. Usually, you may be a little bit beat up, little nicks and bruises here, so it gives you a chance to rest. And of course, I think it probably favors Great Crossing in the fact that their biggest game of the year, no doubt, is Scott County, and they basically get 2 weeks to prepare. And the wing T offense is one of the toughest offenses to prepare for. So I'm sure the defensive coaches appreciate having a little extra time to go through some assignments because it's assignment football whenever you're trying to defend the wing T. So I think Great Crossings is happy that they've got this bye week coming up when they do.
Scott County with a couple of close wins in the series last year, 14-6 in the regular season, 21-19 in the playoffs. And we've mentioned the playoffs are going to be a little different this year. The RPI should be released here in a week or so and kind of give us an idea of where the power lies in 5A and where everybody's at. It's not going to be strictly by district this year, so hopefully we'll avoid some of those early matchups. Nobody wants to see the two teams play in the first round. Nobody really wants to play Douglas in the second round. So certainly most of us, I think, in Georgetown, that's a popular move by the KHSAA to go back to that other format.
Yes, I wouldn't have liked that. You don't want some of these teams were facing a team in the 9th or 10th game and then turning around and playing them 2 weeks later in the playoffs. And to me, that's not even fair to the kids. You need to be able to travel and see some teams that you haven't seen. And so I think that's a good move by the KSAA.
Yeah, I mean, they did it in the name of cutting travel, I think. But, look, we're going to travel anyway in this state. We got a lot of – it's kind of far-flung. You've got teams in the major cities, and you've got plenty of 4A, 5A, and even 6A teams out in rural areas that are county-type schools. So you're going to travel no matter who you draw.
Well, in the playoffs, you split the gate after expenses. So it's not like you're making a whole bunch of money or losing a whole bunch of money because of the gas bill of driving another 50 even to 100 miles. It's not making that big of a difference in your costs. I don't understand that argument myself.
There were some games in the later rounds last year that involved 4 or 5 hour bus rides one way. So if you're going to be doing that eventually anyhow, I don't think it makes much sense to kind of tilt the balance of power in the early rounds because you were getting rid of some of the better teams in the state the way it was set up.
Yes.
So, I mean, Scott County certainly had a legitimate complaint there last year. Whoever came out of that SCGC game and had to lose to Douglas in the second round had a complaint. But 5A is loaded to the gills. Bowling Green is up there. Highlands, Douglas.
Bob Spire's done a good job. I don't know if you remember Bob. Bob was at Lexington Catholic for years where they had a lot of success, went to the finals, and he left and went to Gwinnett, Georgia, and coached at North Gwinnett and took them to the finals a couple of years. And he has come back to Kentucky and leading the Highlands program, and I think their numbers are up. The athletes that they've got in there have improved, and Northern Kentucky kind of has open districts, so to speak, anyway. So, but he's got that program back where Highlands has traditionally been all these years.
That was, I believe that was who they went and got. Initially, they hired Eddie James from Franklin County, and then he had a change of heart and stayed with the Flyers, and they went out and made that move, and they have been successful these past couple of years with that new regime. Highlands, of course, one of those storied programs. You look what I think I was looking the other day. The top 5 winningest high school football programs in America, 3 of them are Kentucky. It's Male, Mayfield, and Highlands, I believe, are 3 of the top 5
in the nation, aren't they?
In the nation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know Coach Schaffner and Great Crossing's freshman team is playing some great football this year, and I believe their only loss was to Highlands. And he told me that they had 56 players on their freshman roster.
He's going to be happy you gave him a shout out on the air, too. I'm telling you what. Yes, that is accurate. The record, I talked to him before the game as well. Got to give a call to the JVs. They're undefeated as they got another big win this week.
Future's bright for Great Crossing football.
It is.
They're building a good program. One of the things that impresses me so much, and some of that's just maturation, but look at these guys like Lacosco and Drake Bird and the Patterson boys, and to look at how their bodies have changed since that freshman year when we had to throw them to the wolves. It never ceases to amaze me how much thicker and stronger athletes they are now that they're seniors out here. And there's not much that group of seniors that for Great Crossing hasn't seen, since most of them have been starting since they were freshmen in high school.
Yeah, you look at the all the sports in Great Crossing, you see these senior nights coming in the fall, and I have to stop and think, wow, those are the kids that started it all, whether it's soccer, volleyball, football. They were freshmen on team 1 for all those programs, and now they've completely gone through the cycle. And you're right, football, it just makes an enormous amount of difference. That time in the weight room, just that physical maturation, and just for high school boys from age 14 to age 17, 18 is a huge difference. So.
Yes, it is.
Dance team entertaining us here in the later stages of the halftime show.
We got some young dancers out there.
That's good.
Too.
We got to, you want to see all these young kids, whether it's dance team, cheerleaders, football, soccer. You love to see them out of the field and getting prepared to be the next wave. We're all in the position now of having to populate twice as many programs in this county as we used to. And so it's good to see these kids want to get involved early and often.
Both schools have a great support, fan support, student bodies. I'm always impressed with how the student body turns out and supports. And like you said, here in 2 weeks, this place will be rocking.
Gosh, you remember three summers ago, actually, in 2019, that opening night. I mean, there was no place to put anyone here.
I remember it well.
Yeah, probably better than you'd like to. You wake up some nights screaming. That polecat play worked well, though.
The polecat worked well. I had a few choice words for DT Wells and administration.
Why did you do that?
But we were running out on the field. It was something else with that type of crowd and the fans cheering. And then we had the polecat touchdown, which Monty McIntyre came over to me after the game.
He was yelling at you.
He said, "I knew."
Not the first time you'd burned him with that.
He said, "I knew you were going to run that." He said, "We defended it all week and you still scored." The only thing is that's the only time it worked. We tried later on and it didn't work as well.
No.
But we gave the Warhawk fans something to cheer for there for just a little bit.
Uh-huh. That season went on, got the first win, and started the process here. Certainly started to turn the corner late that season, early the next one. Even with COVID kind of getting in the mix there that second year, they were able to make a lot of progress.
Yeah, it was an interesting year, but it was an enjoyable year. You know, as tough as it was, and I've told people since then, you know, I've won state titles, state runner-up, and regional titles, but winning that Grant County game that year and getting our first win when honestly there was times in the summer that I did not think we were going to be able to play a varsity schedule. And,
No.
The players were crying, the parents were crying. The sheriff met us at the county line and took us through town on a little parade. That was one of my better wins in my career that I enjoyed. Those are the type of wins you do enjoy when nobody's expecting you to do anything, when the expectations are not there. So it was a good year, and I appreciate all those coaches and players that came out and went through that experience with us.
Everybody remembers their first win. You always hope the last win's going to be memorable too, and certainly yours, if that's going to be it, was a memorable one.
Yes, it was.
28-0 is your score in this one, as the wins have been easier to come by so far this season. Warhawks about ready to go 5-0 going into a bye week. Scott County up 20-6 now over Dunbar. 9:46 remaining in the first half there. It looks like Dunbar has the ball in the red zone, though, so still a competitive situation over in Lexington as the Cardinals trying to go 4-0. They've played that kind of schedule where the records are deceiving. Anybody who watched that Bryan Station game last week, that was one for the ages.
Lead that in the fourth quarter.
Station was up 20-0 at the half, and they were up 20-7 going into the fourth. But Scott County scored a touchdown and then picked off a pass and went in for the go-ahead score, and then had a couple of stops after that. So it was a crazy night, but. They say the wing T is not a catch-up offense. Well, it was last week. It is when you can get the tempo going and eliminate the mistakes, which they were able to do.
Once you get that wing T going, and of course I ran it for probably about 20 years. Once it gets rolling and the team starts trying to stop whatever play it is that you've got going, then you can run the plays that come off of that, and it can be as an explosive offense as these passing attacks.
I've seen Scott County have a 12-play, 80-yard scoring drive in less than 2 minutes. I mean, that's how effective it can be in that regard. So, yes. Well, if you're Ricky Bowling, what do you tell your team? It's always as we said, Bryan Station had a 20-0 lead at halftime last week. Tonight's 28-0, but it feels a lot different. It feels like Great Crossing has controlled the line of scrimmage and pretty much every other phase of this game. But what do you tell your team?
I think Great Crossing, their opponents tonight is themselves, and they've got to come out and execute and maybe improve on a few things that they've seen on the monitors down there that they didn't do, and prepare themselves. Of course, he wants to come out of here without any injuries. That's big. So if he can get that running clock, that's always a plus, because it's going to shorten the game and shorten the chances of possibly getting somebody hurt. But they just got to go out and take care of business and try to improve as a football team tonight. And who knows, they may work on a few things this second half that we haven't seen the first half, just to see how they look out here.
I was going to give you all the scoring summary, but I couldn't find it on here. I can go back through my notes and remind myself of how we got to this point of 28-0. Zach Morris with a 3-yard run to cap an almost 6-minute drive to start the game. Warhawks went 67 yards. Key play was a 4th down strike from Gabe Nichols to Drake Bird. Bourbon County went for it deep in their own territory on 4th down. Clay Estes was sacked by the trio of Clayton Shaddix, Joshua Strayer, and Clay Spradlin. That led to a 2-yard keeper by Gabe Nichols, set up by a couple of nice Dylan Lay runs. 14-0, 2:51 to go in the first quarter. It was Morris again from 11 yards out on 4th and inches with 6:32 to go in the second quarter. The key play on that series was a 36-yard strike down the sideline from Nichols to DJ Blunt. And once again, right before the half, 1:48 to go in the second quarter, Jaquise Patterson with a 6-yard run. Isaiah Johnson, a couple of beauties to the left side, avoiding tackles for loss, or would-be tackles for loss, and gaining 10-15, moving the chains. What in the devil is that music? It's like somebody's got the bass turned up and there's no music playing. It's just this loud vibration that's going on right now.
I think I had a car come by the other day. It sounded like that.
I've had a couple I've tried to keep on the road. That similar situation. The kickoff, the return, and another open field tackle by Zach Morris on the return to stop that one at the 26. Morris has been a two-way terror. 2 touchdowns tonight. He's performing in all 3 phases as he makes the stop on special teams here. Bourbon County will go to work, down 4 scores at its own 27. Clay Estes, the quarterback, 3 for 5. That's a far cry from the numbers he's put up on the season. 21 yards with a long of 12. Bourbon County only had 3 first downs in the first half. They will run it off right tackle across the 30 to the 33. It looks like Moody for a gain of 6. Josh Moody been the back for them. Estes has run it a lot during the season. We haven't seen that tonight. He's only been running for his life a couple of times. When they get in the red zone, they like to use him down there, but they just haven't been nearly that close. They haven't been on the other side of midfield. Here's a good run for a first down, though, up the middle to the 40.
That's the best 2 run plays we've seen tonight.
Yeah.
Moody's a good-looking running back. He's got good size and pretty good speed.
They've mixed it up with Moody, and I believe Demarius McKee Ross might have had the carry there to the 40. And there's Ross is listed at 6 feet. Moody's only listed at 5'8", but he's got to go up close to 200 pounds.
Yeah, I think so. He's kind of a bowling ball look to him.
Kind of a la Caden Allen. They will run a toss this way with Moody. He will he'll get the corner at midfield and step out of bounds at the 45 to avoid getting pushed out of bounds there by Strayer.
I mentioned that in the first half. The outside run plays have been some of their more successful runs, and that was the case there. The kid's got pretty good speed, and once he got out there, Fisher just about had him, but he was able to outrun him and pick up a nice gain.
I jinxed it. I said Bourbon County hadn't been on Great Crossing's side of the field. Well, here they are at the Warhawks 45. 1 minute and 15 seconds gone in the second half. They'll run the toss the other way.
Again.
Moody to the 40 before Cobbins hits him there along with Lacosco. But a good gain on first down of another 5 to make it 2nd and 5.
Big back's coming back in, so we may see him running it back inside now.
They've gone wide with Moody and up the middle with McKee Ross. They haven't wanted to test the secondary much. Estes has only put the ball in the air 5 times, which is not much when you're trailing by 4 touchdowns. You were right. McKee Ross up the middle won't get the first down on the first effort, but the second effort will take him up to about the 37, where it will be 3rd and 2. So Bourbon County has got a little forward motion going here as they have driven it from their own 27 to the Warhawks 37, 9:40 remaining third quarter. Scott County has tacked on another score and leads Dunbar 27-6.
Quarterback keep around
that
the edge.
Will be Estes. That's we said we hadn't seen much of him running, so we've jinxed it all over the place. Estes up to the 21 before he's taken down, and Bourbon County's on the move for the first time. Drake Bird was there along with Zach Morris to stop him, but the chains move again. First down and 10 at the Great Crossing 21. Bourbon County with its best sustained offense of the night, but they trail by a bundle. Estes will keep it again on the left side. He's got room inside the 10, down to the 6. It'll be first and goal as Lacosco had to catch him from behind.
Estes is a good athlete, and you get that quarterback running, you're picking up an extra player in the box there, and that's one of the nice things about having a running quarterback is you ended up with a +1 usually in most of those situations once you spread the defense out.
It's just interesting to me how little we saw them try to establish him in that way in the first half. He's rushed 37 times for 250 yards and 9 scores this year, but only 3 for -3. There was a tackle for loss, a sack factored in there. He'll keep it again inside the 5. Fisher drags him down at the 4. Didn't like the way Fisher got twisted up there, but he gets up. Cobbins in there with the assist as well. 4 minutes gone here in the second half. Bourbon County has been effective, mostly on the ground with its quarterback lately. Clay Estes has guided them down the field. We'll see if they go back the other direction. They're on the left hash mark. They'll go straight ahead with Ross, McKee Ross. Didn't get much there, maybe to the 3 before the defense collapsed on him. Strayer getting off the bottom of the pile. Morris was there as well.
I believe I would have took that thing back outside to Moody.
Yep, I think you had a lot of room on that other side. I'm kind of surprised.
They've gone into a full house set, but spread the field, maybe put trips to the field and toss that thing out there and get him out in space. He's got good speed, fairly elusive.
That's where they've made hay on this series is getting to the corner. There's been not a lot up the middle. Moody in the backfield. He's the lone setback right now. 2 receivers flanked out each way. Estes will keep it. He'll try to push the pile. It'll be stopped at the 1. It'll be 4th down. Interesting. Ethan Harris kind of came in from the backside to deny the end zone to Clay Estes. And they'll actually mark it closer to the 2. So we'll see how that affects the decision-making process here for David Jones. The Bourbon County Colonels, they've used up half the third quarter, just about. The clock will tick down close to the 6-minute mark before they have to snap it.
They've got more yards in this drive than they had the entire first half.
Yeah, you look at the first half, they had 29 on the ground and 21 through the air, 17 plays for 50 yards. I'll bet they've run 10 or 12 plays just on this series. And a timeout is called with 6:13 to go. Warhawks will call that one as they want to get their defensive ducks in a row. Has a chance to get a goal line stand here to start the second half. The keepers by quarterback Clay Estes have orchestrated this drive, giving it the fuel.
Interested in seeing what they call here on this play. This is your money play right here.
They've shown they've run it up the middle an awful lot lately, and they were able to run it outside to get to this point. The holes have closed on Estes a little bit more as they've gotten closer to the end zone. 6:13 to play, about 1.5 yards from the end zone. But now, of course, Estes has taken the snap on the other side of the 5, and it's a low snap, and he hands it off late to McKee Ross, and he is stuffed. The Warhawk defense holds, keeps the goose egg.
Wow.
Morris and others.
A very much inopportune time to have a bad snap. I believe I would have had Estes run it one more time. Again, that gives you that him handing off and standing there. You've just lost another man. Take the big fullback and let him lead and maybe try to get to the edge with the quarterback and see what he could have done right there. Of course, bad snap wouldn't have mattered either way.
Warhawks will hand it off, and that will come
Holding
back
penalty.
as a holding. At least it wasn't in the end zone.
Nice stand by the Warhawks.
Yeah, inside the 5. You'd love to get that second shutout of the season, but Bourbon County was threatening. Like I said, it was the first time they've been on Great Crossing side of the field, so by far their first threat of the night. Stymied. .2:11 to play in the first half at Dunbar. 27-6. Scott County in command there, looking to go 4-0. Warhawks, 6 minutes to play in the third quarter here. Deep in their own end of the field. What did they end up calling there? They just wave it off, or was it offsetting? Or it's still first down and 10 from the 4. Now they get Bourbon County to jump. Kevin O'Doherty gets steamrolled. Stayed down for a minute thinking he was going to draw something more than a 5-yarder, I think.
I always tell my offensive line, we call that play freeze. That means you freeze, you don't move. And Daughtery took at the heart
He
there.
froze.
He
I was
froze.
a little concerned about him for a moment. That buys them some space. So Gabe Nichols has done a nice job with the hard counts tonight. He's used it effectively a couple of times. 1st and 5. The handoff for a first down across the 15 to about the 18. Isaiah Johnson, that burst of speed we saw from him plenty on the outside, but he can run it up the middle as well. He shows that here.
Offensive line does a good job of sticking with their blocks. Too many times you'll see offensive linemen just kind of hit a lick and they don't stay on the man, but that was evident on that play there. Offensive line just staying with their blocks and letting Jaquise do what he does.
Nichols will throw it quickly. He's got Bird, who has to kind of fall down to make the catch at the 24. Gain of 6. Drake Bird makes his 4th catch of the night to lead the Warhawks in that category. I believe he had 4 on the season coming into the night. So he's made his presence felt in all 3 phases in this undefeated start for Great Crossing. Jaquise Patterson stopped after he gets across the 25 to the 26. Warhawks have scored on all 4 possessions tonight. To do it here, they'll have to go 96 yards. I wouldn't bet against them. It'll be 3rd and 2. So they will have to convert here because you would think they wouldn't go for it. Morris, first down and more to the 35, a low center of gravity to the 37.
I really like the way Morris runs the football. He's very low, got good vision. That was a really nice cut there, coming out the back door there, daylight, and made a nice run there.
We'll mark it at the 36, but it's a gain of 12 and a first down for Zach Morris. Other guys picked up the yards in the first half. He had the 2 scores. He gets some yards there and buys the Warhawks some more room, and another hard run up the middle to the 45, a gain of 9 for the Hawks here, pushing back several white jerseys.
That offensive line's making the play calling easy tonight. Just keep feeding it to them, and between the lines push and those running backs just churning those legs and driving and coming off tackles, they're just like right there, 9 yards and just right up the middle.
Mentioned the maturity up there. Kevin O'Doherty, Zach Kugel, Chucky Wilson. You've also got Joaquin Solis and Caden Helton on the starting offensive line this year who fit in nicely. 2nd and 1. Nichols fakes it, spins, wants to throws high, and a very dangerous pass as Moody almost picked it off. He had Hammond on the Great Crossing sideline. Morris was also there, but the closest fingertips by far belonged to Josh Moody. Incomplete, no harm, no foul, 3rd and 1.
Tried to bootleg out there, but the defensive end for Bourbon County wasn't full, so Nichols had some pressure coming on him when he had to throw that ball off his back foot.
Kind of took my eye. Didn't see if he really had room to maybe run for it or not, but he was.
No, I think he had decent pressure coming on him, and he bootlegged out so deep that it took him a while to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Clock stops at 3:19 in the 3rd quarter. They will give it up the middle to Morris for another 1st down and across the 50, breaking tackles to the Bourbon County 47.
That's what's nice about 2nd in the yard. It gives you a down there you can play with a little bit and then still come back 3rd and 1. And with the way they're blocking, that's pretty easy 1st down for them there.
Great crossing having its way. Got the goal line stand, or at least the stand inside the 5 after the bad snap, and they have driven it into Bourbon County territory. It's maybe one of those quarters where both teams have one possession, as the Warhawks have ticked it down to 250. Isaiah Johnson on the sweep, a lot of room to the right side, cuts it back inside the 40, kind of lost grip on the football for a minute, had to go back and put 2 hands on it, but he still gets to the 36 for a 1st down. Warhawks on the move once again. Josh Moody made the tackle for Bourbon County, but not before the chains get displaced. There at the 36, Nichols giving instructions. Bird in motion. Nichols will look that way. He throws over the top to Bird. Little screen. Bird down to the 30 for a gain of 6. You could see that play developing as soon as Bird went in motion and Nichols kind of rolled over there.
They defended it halfway decent, but they had 2 men out in the flats, and it's hard to cover 2 men in that same territory there, the way they had them spaced out. So Bird was open, made a nice catch, gained 5 yards off of it.
We've got an official's timeout after Bird's 5th catch of the night, as a Bourbon County player is down on his back at the point where the tackle was made. Clock stops at 1:55 in the 3rd. Halftime score over in Lexington's 27-6, Scott County on top of Dunbar. Score here is 28-0, and the Warhawks looking for more. You'd think maybe if they score, they might go for 2 and get this to a running clock for the 4th quarter, but we shall see. They've still got 31 yards to go. This drive started on their own 4-yard line after Morris and others stuffed the run on 4th down. Bourbon County's only been on that side of the field once all night. It was a good drive. Took up 6 minutes, but came up empty. This may be a little more of a serious, the player's still down. Nope, they're helping him up now. He's getting a lot of help as he gets to his feet, though. It's a big body, number 64, Ryan Lay, a 5'10" sophomore. When we return to action, it'll be 2nd and 5 at the Bourbon 31. Been just kind of a systematic night for the Warhawks. Matriculating the ball down the field, as the late Hank Strand would say. We'll do it again with Johnson. Pounding his way to the 25. And that will be another great crossing 1st down. They just hit you from all directions. It's been Johnson, Morris, Allen a little bit in the first half. Dylan Lay quite a bit in the first half. That was a wild throw as Blunt was the intended receiver, but I don't think he went the way Nichols thought he was going to. And again, it could have been easily intercepted as Caden Hamilton was over there for Bourbon.
If the defensive back had been looking for the ball right there,
he was equally unexpecting it.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
He was trying to make the tackle instead of finding the ball. If he'd have found the ball, that would have been an interception for sure.
Haven't been many incomplete passes on the night as Gabe Nichols, very efficient, 7 for 9 in the first half, and he's hit Bird a couple of times on this drive. Jaquise Patterson, good room up the middle inside the 20, still moving. Yeah, he'll be stopped at the 19, so it'll be 3rd and short. Third and about 4, maybe a short 4. Down to the final minute already of the third quarter. Jaquise Patterson again puts his head down, pushes forward. I don't think he got it, but they'll have 4th and a couple.
The clock's going to run out here. It'll be the 4th quarter.
Great crossing, not in any hurry, and let's be honest, Bourbon County isn't either, as they are taking their medicine tonight. They'll have 12 minutes before their bus ride back to Paris on 460.
Number 63, Bo Stinson.
Teams to their respective sidelines to talk it over. We are done with 3 quarters here at Bird's Nest Stadium. 28-0. Great crossing on top of Bourbon County. Cal Oaks along with Coach Paul Raines. Scoreless third quarter. Both teams only had it once. Good defensive stop for the Warhawks to keep the shutout intact. They're looking for their 2nd of the season. They beat North Oldham 12-0. Defense has given up 40 total points in 5 weeks. So they could improve on their average of 10 very easily as the dance team puts on its weekly show after the third quarter. That's how efficient the great crossing offense has been tonight. This is only the 5th time they've had the ball. They've scored on all 4 series, and they'll try to do it here. They've got to convert a 4th down, which they've done a couple of times earlier in the game. Take what the defense gives you, they say, and certainly an example of that tonight. Although they've certainly paved their own path up front once again in the trenches. Ball at the Bourbon County 17, 4th down and 2 for the Warhawks. Allen in the backfield along with Morris.
Got the 2 power backs in.
You've also got Nichols, who's shown he can keep it in that situation. He will hand it to Allen for a 1st down and much, much more. Down, tripped up just shy of the goal line at the 2.
I was just getting ready to say, and they snapped the ball too soon, that if he broke that first level, that I thought he'd have a nice game because they're walking those linebackers up, and there's just nobody there once you break that line of scrimmage unless that linebacker hits you in the mouth.
Making the first to go for the Warhawks from the Colonel's 2-yard line.
Zach Morris trying for his third touchdown of the evening. He'll be stopped just shy.
I like to get right back on the line
And do it again.
As soon as they mark the ball ready to play, just call the same play again or a compliment off of it and catch the the Bourbon's about to throw in the towel anyway at this point in time and just get up there and snap it and take your chances. Second and short.
They didn't credit him with any forward progress there. It's still marked at the 2, and now there's a whistle.
Yeah, somebody moved on the right side of the line there.
That'll push it back. Nichols trotted into the end zone, but the whistle had blown long before that. It'll back it up. 10:56 to play. Warhawks trying to punch it in one more time and expand this 28-0 lead.
So what, we have one possession for each team in the third quarter?
Yeah, we had a 6-minute possession for Bourbon County, and we had a 6-minute possession that is still ongoing. In fact, it's up to about 7.5 minutes for the Warhawks. This has been, we haven't had a running clock literally, but we've had one in theory. Sweep and cut back. Johnson gets back to the original line of scrimmage, or it'll be 3rd and goal inside the 2 with a market at the 1. Gain of 5 for Isaiah Johnson. He'll come out, and back come Morris and Allen. The short yardage backs. Morris has punched it in twice tonight. Made a bunch of tackles. He's probably on track to be the West Banco player of the game, but we'll wait a little while longer. Junior.
These kids grow up quick.
Yeah, they do. 5'10", 180-pound junior running back, linebacker.
Touchdown.
Give it to Allen, and Allen with the walk-in.
Great push up front.
Caden Allen joins the party. The Warhawks are 5 for 5, and we'll see if they go for 2 or kick it. 2 would push it to a running clock and really shorten this thing up. But for all intents and purposes, it is over.
They're going for 2. And I don't blame him.
No, I mean, why don't you do the same play you just did?
You go for 2 and then try to get the clock running again. Minimize the chances for injuries or something like that.
Yep. Get some younger bodies in the game. Go into your bye week with a running start.
There's been times where I've been on that other side of the field in this situation, and I was glad they were going
just
for 2.
praying for mercy.
I'm like, let's go. Somebody start the bus up, and let's get on out here.
Nichols will throw a little timing pattern to the back of the end zone. No. Blunt reaches up for it, but it's overthrown, and the running clock will not kick in. 9:56 to play regardless.
What do you think about the Cats tomorrow, Cal?
I think they've got a couple of winnable games here coming up between Youngstown State and who is it? Northern Illinois next week.
Yeah,
they earned the right to those with their win last week over the Gators down in the swamp.
I think Northern Illinois, from what I've heard on media, is picked to win the MAC. So that
won't be easy. I mean, obviously, Miami of Ohio was a good game for a half. So
I tell you what, with Appy State and Marshall and
nothing's to be assumed
Georgia
anymore.
Southern, you can't take anybody for granted.
No, you can't. I mean, Notre Dame, Marshall was a stunner, and even more of a stunner. Even though we've seen App State do it in the past at the Big House a few years ago, it's still a surprise when you go out and beat a team with the big recruiting ratings that Texas A&M had and all the chatter that went on in the offseason. Return for Bourbon County out across the 35. They'll have 9:47 to work with here.
I was watching TV this evening, ESPN. They brought the big caravan in for college game day, and there was thousands waiting for them at Appy State. And it's not even the day of the college game day; it's the pre-day of it. So they're pretty excited there that they were not only able to beat Texas A&M, but also take college game day away from them.
Most of the year, I avoid those ESPN talk shows. But it's funny how during football season, I'll hit them up a lot more often. I found myself watching this week as we're getting into the best time of the year for sure. There's a run off right tackle for Bourbon County. McKee Ross across the 40 to the 42. Good gain of 6. Young and Fisher on the tackle as the Warhawks is trying to hang on to that 0 on the scoreboard. Their offense has been perfect tonight in terms of execution, 5 for 5, getting in the end zone.
There's that toss. I thought
Estes
that's what it was.
to McKee Ross again. He'll be across past the first down marker to the 47. So Bourbon County's been able to sustain a lot more offense here in the second half, but they haven't had the ball more than this is the second time. So
I thought the toss sweep was good for them in the first half, and they just kind of got away from it, and they've dialed up pretty nice offensive plays here in the second half, but a little bit too little too late.
They mixed in that read option with Estes, but the collars got tight as they got down inside the 10. They got a little more conservative and get shut down. Here's
again going to the outside, pick up
right at the midfield stripe. Lacosco and Fisher met the running back there. Bird was in on it as well. Getting up from the pile is Moody. Moody helping Fisher with his equipment. It's been fun talking to Orion Fisher a couple of times the past few weeks, and him talking about how the change to the defensive side really continued his football career. He wasn't necessarily sure he was going to play beyond freshman year, and lo and behold, football is going to be a big part of his life the next 4 years. And speak of the devil, sack number 10 on the season for Orion Fisher.
Nice play. Again, that showed his explosiveness right there. The quarterback had to step, and we've talked about E-Step being a good athlete, but he couldn't get away from Fisher there.
Ten sacks. The closest in 5A to his 9 coming into this week was 6, and then third place was 3. That's how much he's dominated that category, and getting rid of it quickly. Estes to Moody, incomplete. 4th and forever. 4th and 15 to be exact from their own 42, and the Colonels will have a decision to make. I guess they'll punt it.
You have to call timeout first.
Yes, indeed.
I should have said that.
Might as well laugh as cry at this point. Sometimes the truth hurts. Well, see, when you set the tone by not punting deep in your own territory in the first series, you confuse everybody, including yourself.
All your personnel is confused now.
And no pressure and a good kick. Bird will take it and fair catch it at his own 22. So the Warhawks will try to drain the lion's share of this final 6:52. We'll see who's in there for, looks like a lot of starters, although it looks like Caden Bays will go in at quarterback. Mark it at the 23. 1st and 10. Bays is the quarterback, but just about everybody else out there is a starter, at least in the skill positions. Might be some clean uniforms for the linemen.
Those are usually the last guys I'd sub just for protection purposes, nothing else.
You don't want to get anybody skill
hurt.
guys hurt at this point. However, plenty of room behind that line on first down across
Look at the double
30.
team you've got down here. Who is that? Daughtery and let's see, that was a 20-yard double team.
They were pushing McKee Ross all the way back to midfield.
That's no fun for a defensive lineman to end up 20 yards downfield.
It was a 7-yard gain back here at the point of attack. They're already playing Sweet Caroline. You got to wait till the end of the game for that. Little counter to the left side. And they'll be a yard shy of the first down. Jaquise Patterson padding the stats a little bit here. 3rd and 1, under 6 minutes. First down, still on his feet is Jarius Patterson. As Caden Bays hits the throw. Chains move to the 40. .5:15 and counting to the 5th win of the season for the Great Crossing Warhawks. We'll have next Friday night off. I'll be here with Sam Sutton for Scott County and Douglas. Don't miss it. Oh, and there is a big hit. And we were talking, boy, if you're going to leave your starters in there, you might get subjected to that.
They brought that outside linebacker on a blitz and just blitzed him right into the play. There's not much you can do.
Cameron Goodwin met Jaquise Patterson for a loss of several. 5 is where they'll mark his progress. 2nd and 15. Little busted play there. Bays will just take it up the middle, and they'll throw a late flag. It's going to be marked off against the Warhawks. It'll be 2nd and even longer. Start to blend some new faces in there on that offense. Not clicking as it was earlier in the game. If you're just joining us or just checking out the score, Great Crossing has had 5 series tonight, scored at the end of all of them to build this 34-0 lead. They've all been 8, 10, 12 play type drives. Nice middle call. Screen, Bays to Isaiah Johnson across the 35. Ball's on the ground, but the play is dead at the 30s. That is a great call in 2nd and long. Now we got a late flag coming in, and we've got a player down for Bourbon County still.
That may be on Great Crossing. I saw a lineman plant somebody there after the play was over.
Goodwin got hit at the end of the play, I think. Moody getting some hugs from the Great Crossing side. Seems like a good kid. He was over there helping Orion a little while ago. Yeah, that is going to be marked off against Great Crossing. Exactly 4 minutes to go in this one.
That's a 15-yard penalty. That's going to make it a 2nd down and 27 for the Warhawks from their own 23-yard line.
Second and 27, give or take. Bays to Johnson. A lot of room on the home sideline across the 35. So Bays has been effective. It's just the plays have not counted up
We've
until
got a
this point.
scrum on the sideline.
And yep, we were just complimenting Josh Moody, and now he's in the middle of a hootenanny down there. What you don't want, you got to set. Now we get coaches and players. You definitely don't want to be ejected from this game if you are a great crossing, because the next one on the schedule is a big one. Cooler heads have prevailed.
It's been a
clean game up until this drive.
It's been a really clean game. Players helping each other up. We had players fixing each other's pads and everything else. And
a little more chatter going on this drive for some reason, now that the game is out of control, which I guess is always what happens.
Yeah.
The officials are trying to
I'm not
meet
sure.
and determine what they're going to dole out here. It would have to be offsetting penalties, I would think.
Unless they saw somebody throw a punch down there, would
that's
be the
what
only
you don't
thing.
want.
Coach Boland's trying to educate the sideline on their behavior.
I think he's telling them, if you get thrown out of the game, it's a couple of weeks before you'll play again. And you do not want
What do we got here? Personal foul. Offsetting. There we go.
Okay. And I didn't see any thumb, so we're in good shape for now. And if I'm Coach Ricky Bowling, that might inspire me to get the last of my starters. But, of course, this happened on the sideline, so it don't matter.
It may have been starters in the middle of it that were over here on the sideline. I don't know.
It could have been anybody, to be honest.
I saw some knucklehead. Didn't even have a uniform run down there and get in the middle of it.
Well, I don't know if that was a coach or a player.
I think it was a player maybe, or I don't know.
It almost looks like a coach with a T-shirt.
Rob Smith deterred him real quick.
Most of the coaches have blue shirts on, so it probably is just a player. Now we've got some coaches hugging it out, or a coach and a player hugging it out. I don't know. Neil Diamond's going to make everybody feel better.
Yeah, there you go. A little feel-good music. Calm everybody down here. Finish this game off.
We're offsetting penalties.
All right. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice. Now that middle screen didn't work. It was picked off. Big man interception, but not a big man touchdown, fortunately. Now we've got more people. And that's a bad one. We've got a player from Bourbon County down clutching his knee.
He was away from the play.
Yeah, I was going to say he wasn't in the middle of it, but two things you don't want at this point in the game: anybody getting hurt, anybody getting ejected. And right now, we've got a lot of stuff going on that could put people in danger of both.
We've got the entire Bourbon County staff on the field there. The player's up that was injured walking around.
I don't know if that was maybe one of those soccer flops to try to draw a penalty or something. And we've got more discussions going on. And another flag going up.
That was on a coach.
That was a coach yelling at the referee and having to be restrained.
It's strange how the tables have turned here all of a sudden.
Yeah, we had the cleanest, quickest game I've been a part of in a long time, and it's unraveled in
one little.
Just shows how quickly it can happen, folks.
I was getting ready to comment earlier in the game because we did the Henry Clay game a couple weeks ago, and I don't know what, Henry Clay had 5 personal fouls in the first half, and this one had been personal foul free all the way up to the scrum over here, and now the yellow handkerchiefs are flying everywhere.
Couple of hootenannies on back-to-back plays here. Sweet Caroline didn't work. We'll try the Jeopardy theme music and see if this gets sorted out. And we'll watch for hand signals because we don't have any mics on the officials. We've got another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and they're just going to offset. Probably would have been on Great Crossing, but then Bourbon County got one protesting. I would think the officials might warn both sidelines, though, if this cannot continue.
Yeah, it's been fortunate that one of the teams has not lost a player.
One way or another. The clock is dead right now at 3:27 to go. Just started the second half not long ago over at Dunbar. So after this game, you can, if you're an NFHS subscriber, quickly switch on over to that and see the end. Estes will throw deep. He's got a man. That's going to be pass interference because Great Crossing didn't turn around, just sort of face guarded, pushing the guy out of bounds. I would think that's going to go against the Hawks. They've also got one back at the line of scrimmage, and Orion Fisher is holding his hands up like, I didn't do it. And here's the deal. Now everything's going to get called because both teams are on notice. I don't know if there was a late hit on the quarterback as well.
Where's he going with the ball?
Pass interference against Great Crossing. Personal foul against Bourbon County. The penalty's offset. It's like it never happened. Basically, the last 10 minutes of our lives never happened except for the interception. First and 10 at the Great Crossing 33. Warhawks have 3:18 to go to preserve this shutout. 34-0. They lead the Bourbon County Colonels, backing up a 28-7 win last year. About to go 5-0 on the season and have next week to heal up, get ready for Scott County. And we are still not ready for action here. What are we talking about now?
This quarter's will take
as long as the first three.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not even 9 o'clock. See, we were on pace for a 2-hour game, which I don't think I've seen since I came to Kentucky, except maybe running clock games. Certainly not a one without a running clock. There was a nice tackle for loss by Zach Morris. And I think it's fair at this point to say he is our West Banco player of the game. 2 touchdowns, multiple tackles for loss. He had a big one on the goal line stand on the 4th down play, or at least a piece of that one, and now gets one here to potentially preserve the shutout again as he backs up Bourbon County to the 36. 2:45 and counting to play. Quick throw to the left side. It's McKee Ross, I believe, over there. Gets to the 31.
Good tackle there.
It's actually number 8 on the catch, not number 6. I apologize. Jaquez Campbell, a wiry 5'8", 128-pound senior. Third and 8 for Bourbon County with 2 minutes to play by the time they snap it. (34-6) Scott County, 5:28 play in the third quarter. Estes under pressure. Can he get away? He scrambles to the 30, the 25, the first down at the 20 and out of bounds. And we've got another flag down, so it may not count. If it's holding, it'll be from the spot. Looks like they are going to mark it. What are they doing? Yeah, they're pushing it back. Dead ball, personal foul. Go figure. 1:44 to go, mercifully.
If Bourbon had been able to keep their composure on the last drive, they may have put some points on the board with the. Of course, you could say that for either team.
They could be sitting in McDonald's already instead of out here still licking their wounds from a 34-0 defeat.
Empty backfield.
3rd and 15. As these scramble, dragging a would-be tackler to the 30. It's Spradlin. Shaddix, rather. Jesse Shaddix. I apologize. Just inside the 30. It'll be 4th and 7. Minute 15 and counting. If they stop the Colonels here, the Warhawks can kneel on it and send us all home. On the right end of another shutout. They're 2nd in 5 games. We shall see. Bourbon County trying to, not really in any hurry, but they would like to fix that. Estes to throw over the middle, complete to Moody. First down at the 13. 49 seconds. Well, Bourbon County certainly has not quit.
They're wanting to run that shutout, and I know Great Crossing's defense, of course, is wanting to hold on to it. It's a pride factor.
They got the one a few weeks ago. Last year, they had a few slip away at the end. They had held 3 or 4 different opponents to 7 points last year, and another spoiled by a safety. There's a sack. Strayer might put a stop to it.
Timeout, Bourbon.
They really do want to score.
Yes. I'm impressed with Estes tonight. He's quite the competitor, a good athlete. He's had a lot of heat on him there in the pocket. Did a good job of running the ball here in the second half.
Yeah, they didn't run him a lot in the first half. Now, down and distance situations may have dictated that, as they didn't have a lot of forward momentum going. They wanted to establish the run, the conventional run. They weren't really able to, as few teams have. They've had a little more success. Last week, Great Crossing held East Jessamine to 6 yards. North Oldham was a similar number early in the season. In fact, they might have been in the minus category. But Great Crossing offense hadn't been stopped until that interception against the second team quarterback in line.
I would expect this one maybe to go to the end zone. They've got 35 seconds.
If you're going to call timeout to try to score, you might as well take a crack, right? I mean, Estes will roll to his right, throw it over there. It's caught on the slide at the 10 by number 2. That is
timeout, Bourbon.
Cameron Santiago, a senior. Bourbon will use another timeout. It will have one left after this, 23.5 seconds. Ball is marked right at the 10. Third and 8. Actually call it the 11. Well, you want to teach your kids to play for 48 minutes. You can't fault Bourbon County here. Certainly when you've scored all the points they have, you're right, it is a matter of pride to try to put one on the board. And if you're the Warhawks, it's a matter of pride to try to keep the 0 intact. We shall see in 23.5 seconds which of those two happens. At the 10-yard line, Clay Estes. Moody in the backfield. Estes rolls to his left. Now he cuts it up the middle. Will keep it inside the 5. Toppled at the goal line. Ball's on the ground. Great crossing says they have it. Zach Morris, your player of the game, comes away with it unless they marked it down. Now they're marking touchdown. And Morris is beside himself. They're saying he got in. I didn't see that from here.
No, I didn't either.
14 seconds left, and there goes the shutout. The official coming in from the right side, the Bourbon County sideline, puts his hands in the air, and it's a 10-yard keeper.
As I said, I'm impressed with Estes. I'm surprised they didn't use him more in the first half as a run threat. Sprint out, give him the option to run or pass.
All he has to do is break the plane, of course, and then if the ball's on the ground, it doesn't matter. So Bourbon County gets the feel-good touchdown. PAT is good. 34-7. I suppose we'll see the obligatory onside kick. Ten-yard keeper for Clay Estes. Takes away the shutout. You hate that if you're great crossing, but scoreboard says you're 5-0 going into a bye week. You can't complain much about that.
No. There's that car coming by.
Boom. Larry Legend has got the bass turned up tonight on the music.
Yeah, I believe they're doing onside.
They've committed to this at this point. They might as well.
You're all in. Well, maybe not.
They could just be yanking us around here.
Looked like the ball was turned, but maybe it's not. Yeah, why not? Nope.
Yep, they will kick it deep over Bird and over Bird's head. It's picked up by a different Warhawk, and maybe they'll make them pay for it and run it back. No, he's going to run out of room. Is number 41, Jacob Johnson. Sophomore gets his moment in the game, 5.6 seconds left.
Thought we may have another scrum over here. Official stepped in, took care of it.
Just go into victory formation and get us all out of here safely.
Go watch Louisville, Florida State. That may be a pretty good game tonight.
Brian Hudson and the boys trying to.
Brian starting center, is that right?
He is. He is
about as fine a young man as I've ever had the pleasure to coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Fourth year junior, I guess you can say now here in the COVID era. He's got 2 more years of college and see what he can get out of it and what's next. And of course is on the track and field team as well. One of those rare multi-sport D1 athletes. Just a great young man from a great family.
Yes, he is.
His family travels all over the place. They were in Syracuse last weekend. Can't remember they were in Florida. They were at Central Florida one of their games. I guess it was Syracuse 2 weekends ago and Central Florida last weekend. Caden Bays will kneel on a 34-7
They're not
victory.
going to shake hands. They're just going to the locker room.
Go to the line. There's no need to risk a few players will come over and exchange pleasantries, which you like to see. But, definitely no need to go through the whole ritual here. We avoided it during COVID. We might as well avoid it now when we've had a contentious fourth quarter. Any parting words of wisdom, Coach, on this one? Warhawks took care of business.
Took care of business, and like you said, they're undefeated going into bye week, and with the big county showdown coming up in 2 weeks that everybody will be excited for, and it'll be interesting in 2 weeks. Sounds like Scott County's well on their way for another victory also.
34-12 late in the third quarter there. Looks like they'll be 4-0 with Douglas coming up. Want to invite you to join us next week for that one. Sam Sutton will be here with me. battle of unbeatens in 5A, but it's been fun watching Great Crossing get to 5-0. We'll be here for the Battle of the Birds in 2 weeks. Can't wait. On behalf of Coach Paul Raines, Brett Smith, production and photography here, Mike Scoggin, publisher back at the office, DT Wells for helping to pull it all together. I am merely Cal Oak saying good night, God bless. Your final score, Great Crossing 34, Bourbon County 7. See you next week for Scott County and Douglas. Good night, everybody.